Good day. Today, as usual, we're back to talk about a few important points about Taiji and Qigong. I do not wish to make this too formal, so I'll try to make it as simple and as relaxed as possible. And I'll try to touch on a few salient points, the key one of which would be diagnosis. Because for everyone who deals with Taiji, Qigong, TCM, here I mean traditional Chinese medicine, you're trying to relax your body, but that's not the only thing you're trying to do. You're also trying to heal yourself, or you're trying to heal your neighbor, you're trying to heal your friends, you're trying to heal your family members. Now, if you're trying to heal people, the first thing you have to do is get the energy on. And we have already talked in several videos about how to feel your energy ball, how to create the energy ball mentally, and how to actually feel it in your hands. It becomes real. It's not an imaginary thing. And this ball, once you have it, should be able to be dissolved and flowed from one side of the body to the other, through the legs to the head, from the head to the legs, through the arms. In fact, you should be able to flow it wherever you want. And this is learned through the 18 movements of Qigong, through what we call the Gong, or through the TaijiQigong movements themselves. There are a whole lot of movements which you can use to do this, but that's not the most important point. What I'm trying to point out most is when you practice these exercises, you do get healing. But the healing is even more efficiently done or achieved if you know what you are trying to resolve. Because the whole thing about TCM, the whole thing about energy medicine, the whole idea is about balancing two polarities, balancing the left and the right, the upper and the lower, the inner and the outer, the front and the back, even balancing diagonally. So you can balance in these ways. And we'll talk about these things eventually in several videos later. Of course, I can't give you every single detail in here. And for these reasons, for those who really want to get into the nitty-gritty of this, it might be useful to join one of my courses. And we have these courses on WhatsApp. You can actually look for us on Instagram, Facebook, all of these various social media. We're actually there, and we have real courses which allow people who are serious about these things to actually study them further. But here I'm still trying to give you enough to be able to do something for yourself. And I'll share with you some of my experiences. So let's do it. My problem, one of the biggest obstacles I encountered in learning Taiji, Qigong, and TCM, because I wrap them all together. It's just one whole thing. You cannot really separate them. So one of my biggest difficulties was understanding what was the matter with me. So I might have a pain here in the digestive system, and all I can think of is it doesn't feel good here. What's the problem? What are you trying to do? Now, if you know nothing, all you have to do is direct energy here and hope that the energy, will go exactly where you want it soon enough. Eventually it will, but how long will it take? Now, if I know where to place the energy, for example, into this point, it's going to happen much faster. So a certain knowledge of Chinese medicine is always of benefit to people who are into energy work, energy healing. So diagnosis is going to be key to you. And many people think, but isn't that very complicated? And my answer is, in some ways it is, in some other ways not. And it might depend on who teaches you and the approach they have. So we could have pulse diagnosis, for example, where we take the pulse in this manner. And we can have tongue diagnosis. And I usually ask those who are taking part in our courses, or those who consult us, because we have lots of people calling from across the world, discussing their health, and we kind of coach them, guide them to finding out what's wrong with them and to discovering what they need to do. And we assist, because we're in China, sometimes you may not be able to find what you need where you are. We are able to ensure that you get these. So let's talk about your tongue. Your tongue is a mini you. And what this means is, if I take a look at your tongue, you know, the upper surface and the surface underneath, these two essentially can inform me about virtually everything which is going on inside your body health wise. This is traditional Chinese medicine. I know it might sound strange or, you know, I don't know, weird to people who are not into this. But if you actually put it into effect, you will see the results for yourself. It's not a question of believing or not believing. It's just, all right, let's do it, and then you see what happens. Did it work? Did it not work? If it doesn't work, throw it away. If it did work, you have the proof right there, and then you can repeat this. Is it repeatable? Now, TCM is thousands of years old, so this is not even a question we're having now. But let's take one kind of tongue, the normal tongue. A normal human tongue should neither be excessively red nor transparent. If it's too red, it tells you one thing: there is too much heat in your body. Heat in Chinese medicine can translate to inflammation, if you wish. So you see a very red tongue. This is internal heat. This is internal fire at a certain point. This is inflammation. You see a transparent tongue. What it tells you is there is little blood in the system. This is a blood deficiency tongue. So a transparent tongue is not desirable. A very red tongue is not desirable. Neither is a purplish looking tongue, like going from red towards purple. This is not desirable either, because what that tells you is you are suffering from blood stasis. So in situations like, you know, an attack of the coronavirus and other kinds of ailments which may cause blood stasis in your body, you start to see the tongue going towards purple. It starts taking on a purplish hue. Otherwise, another way you can recognize blood stasis is dark purplish spots here and there on the tongue. And where these spots are located on the tongue can tell you if they're in your liver, in your kidneys, in the heart area, towards the brain, or other parts of the body. So a normal human tongue should be kind of pinkish, a pinkish tongue, and it should have a tongue coating. What's a tongue coating? It's like little hairy stuff you have on the surface of the tongue. Everyone can check this out after this video. Just take the mirror or your mobile phone and look at your tongue. You can see the little hairy stuff on the surface of the tongue. If it's there, you're good. If it's not there, you're not okay. And I'll tell you what that means. Now, when these little kind of hairy stuff are there, what we call the tongue coating, they should be whitish, but not excessively so. So it's like a little white, hairy surface on the top of your tongue. And then the tongue body itself should be a little bit pink. The tongue should not be excessively swollen, like too thick, appearing too thick. And if it becomes too thick, one of the things which will happen, which you will notice, is you see the shape of your teeth on the sides of the tongue or on the front of the tongue, because it's a swollen tongue. This kind of swollen tongue with the tooth marks usually indicates qi deficiency of the spleen and the kidneys. This is a qi deficiency problem, but it may extend to become a yang deficiency problem, which means you do not have enough bioelectricity. Simply, you know, when we say yin and yang, people kind of make this all appear very mysterious. There's nothing mysterious about the whole thing. So you do not have enough electricity, bioelectricity, to circulate your blood, to keep your blood and the fluids moving. We call this a yang deficiency. If you have the electricity in your body moving, but you do not have the cooling fluids like blood and other transparent fluids in your body, we call this a yin deficiency. It's just like a car. A car engine runs on gasoline, and we usually can equate this to the food we eat. This is our gasoline. But if you only eat food, you still don't live. To start your car, it doesn't matter that you have gasoline in it. If you do not have a battery pack, a power pack, the car will not start. You need the spark to do it. apart from diesel engines, but that's another story. So the power bank for us is in here, below the navel or behind the navel. It's called the dantian in traditional Chinese medicine. And this is where the qi comes from, or the electricity, the bioelectricity comes from in TCM. You might believe this, you might not, but we work with that for now. And so you have your power bank, you have your fluids, the blood, the transparent fluids in the body, and you have the electricity. They work together. The electricity or the yang lives in the yin, which is the blood and the fluids, and together they circulate around the body to distribute oxygen, nutrients, and all the other stuff which you need. As long as this process works fine, your tongue will reflect this. Pink tongue, no tooth marks, not swollen, not too thick, not flaccid. You have a light whitish tongue coating throughout the tongue from the tip all the way to the back of the throat. This is a normal tongue. Now, if you start to lose body fluids, you will notice that the tongue coating starts to thin out. It will reduce to a point where it might not be there, and you have a smooth tongue surface, a little bit like glassy or glossy. This is really not good. You just want to hurry up to boost your yin, and there are multiple ways of doing this depending on which part of the body is yin deficient. A Chinese medicine specialist would be best to inform you, or you can join one of our courses and we will be very happy to provide you with the knowledge that you need over a period of several months. So that essentially is what I had to say. So we have a normal tongue, a yin deficiency tongue, yang deficiency tongue. You can even have a blood stasis tongue, qi stagnation tongue, and you can have a damp cold tongue and a damp heat tongue. These are the basic types of tongues we have, and in our courses we break this down very clearly, so it's easy for you to understand, easy for you to know what's wrong with you. Thank you very much. That will be it for today. You can look us up on WhatsApp. My number, because I'm in China, is +86 150 3511 6484. I repeat, +86 150 3511 6484. You can add me up on WhatsApp, and you could also find me on Facebook, Anthony Balinga's Taiji Health Corner, or you can find me on Instagram as well, Tony Balinga. Thank you very much. Talk to you next time.